Should I fire my wealth manager? In a nutshell, I've been with my wealth manager for the past 3 years. During this time, I've invested precisely £1,017,318 into my portfolio. However, my returns have been lackluster. Around 2. While I've paid £33,575 in management fees. As of now, my portfolio is valued at £1,090,799. This essentially means that my investments have barely yielded any substantial gains over the past 3 years, which has left me questioning the value of the wealth management service. From my perspective, it seems like all they do is spread my money across various funds in the name of diversification, primarily to accumulate management fees. They inundate me with detailed reports on the numerous equities and bonds they've invested my money in. On top of that, they constantly urge me to increase my monthly allocation to meet my long-term financial goals. The crux of the matter is whether this is worth it. Should I consider cashing out and investing in a few Vanguard ETFs while keeping some cash on hand? The thought of shelling out £30,000 a year in fees for what seems like minimal value added makes me uneasy. I've come across alternatives like Wealthfront, which claim to offer similar services but with much lower fees, around 2 instead of the hefty 10 I'm currently paying. I'm torn between sticking with my current wealth managers or exploring other options. Has anyone had experience with better alternatives in this regard? I don't have enough information to say whether they've generated a good return or not. Sounds like you're paying about 1 per year, $33,000 over 3 years on a 1mm portfolio in advisory fees, which is standard. Not sure how much additionally you've invested. Assuming 0, they've generated 7 or around 2 per year. Global stock market ETF VT has generated about 7 per annum. Bonds are down about 20 or so over last 3 years. If you have a 70-30 stock bond portfolio, then an appropriate benchmark is down about 1. Your advisor has outperformed by 3 net of all fees. Wealth managers build their wealth from your portfolio. Never pay more than 1 total in fees. Anything more is just making someone else wealthy instead of you. Most wealth managers have the majority of their funds in low-fee Vanguard SP 500 index funds. Wealth manager here. Hard to say if this dude's doing a good or bad job given I don't know your age or risk tolerance. I always use the accountant equivalent to determine if you actually need an advisor. 9-10 times you can do your taxes yourself if you do an hour of homework. But some people would rather pay someone to do it right. Also, some people's taxes are so complicated. You better call an expert. If neither of these apply to your investment situation, you can do it yourself. VT and chill, my good hombre. You get 4-5 just on cash these days, tears of joy and no fees outside of taxes. Before you do anything drastic, think about your manager's family's lifestyle changes without that fee you're paying him. 2023 was one of the worst for both equities and fixed income. To be positive net of fees is good. Redditors usually don't have more than $500K net worth. I strongly suggest you do not take anyone's advice on here. Using those numbers, the person has made you $21,800 and cost you $33,575 to do so. I'd fire them. What are your fees? You mentioned 3 numbers that range from 1,1033K over 3 years, 30K per year, and 10. If it's actually 10, then that sounds like a scam. They can't possibly get you good returns if they're taking 10 of that. I would start by talking to your wealth manager about what risk category is your portfolio in. You may be in a low risk category. Not sure about UK, but as US moving from wealth management and not being in a retirement account can trigger a taxable event for capital gains. This is why low-cost index funds are made. Set it and forget it. Reddit standard answer: fire everyone and DIY cause it's so easy. 1. The one hand. Wealth managers taking a 1-2 fee is highway robbery. Especially when they can't beat any benchmarks or a basic index in this situation. On the other, I've dealt with enough would-be experts on Reddit who claim they understand how the markets work, but also lag the performance, or worse, they lose their ass on stupid risky investments like $INTC or $VZ because of MA dividends. They don't have their hands on 7 figures. Just withdraw the funds and stick it into VOO or VTI and just go on with your life. Might not mirror the popular opinion, but the fact that you up even after paying the fees means they are likely doing a pretty good job. I'm down 10 over 3 years on my managed account. So you have invested over £1 million into the market over the past 3 years. Are you a drug dealer or something? 10? Sounds more like you are paying 1 annually. I wouldn't do that, but doesn't sound like 10. Go to Schwab or similar. Then buy Capital Group funds. Then look at the statement again in 10-year intervals. You will be happy. Just put that million in VTI and go about your life. Check it 5 years later and you will see it increase by about 20. There are only 2 measures that are meaningful: total return and volatility of the returns. It's hard to beat the market consistently, but you can still get decent returns with less volatility than the market. I don't know your time horizon and risk appetite, so you need to figure out where you are on the risk-return spectrum. If your financial advisor misses on both fronts, then dump your advisor. You're asking, are investing this kinda question? The only answers I see you getting will be of the fire your wealth manager and kill their dog variety, then proceed to tell you to go all in on some index fund or another. Jesus, I've read the all comments from OP and they're just so fucking dense it blows me away. Working in the WM industry, I'd give OP the advice to just stick with the wealth manager because I don't think they should be trusted with this sort of money. Not to mention that $33,000 over 3 years is apparently 10. This is a very standard amount. But sure, change advisors or do it yourself for the low price of 2. Should I fire my wealth manager? Lol. Yes. 2. Just buy an index fund. It's impossible to give an answer without knowing your exact investments and comparing their performance to a benchmark of some type. Yes. Without a doubt. Considering your situation, it's worth assessing whether your current wealth manager justifies their fees. The 2 returns and the significant fees you've paid are concerning. Evaluate other options like Vanguard ETFs or lower-cost alternatives like Wealthfront before making a decision. Compare services, fees, and performance records of potential alternatives. You might find that a more cost-effective approach aligns better with your financial goals, especially if you're dissatisfied with your current manager's performance and fees. Just do your own research and manage your own investments. I've been doing my own research and investing on my own for the past 6 years and so far have never lost money. In fact, my money tripled. Also, just look at the SP 500 charts for the top companies and invest in ones that seem like they have an upside. Read the news and just follow the markets. Everything is just a cycle, and do the opposite of what people are doing.